80K. Welcome to the Rawrrzone. What you doing, co-host? What's your name?
It's Hoodie Prince Charming Mike Bostic. What's good, everybody?
We here today. I'm pretty excited right now. It only took me like 2 years to secure this interview, but I finally did it.
You
Listen,
secured the bag. You secured the bag.
I
That's a
secured
fact.
it. Do you know how many times I had to chase him at that Power is Industry event for this?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she's been very focused, very consistent and persistent, which is
that's a
why
fact.
we're here. You know what I'm saying? Timing is everything, man. And
That's it.
we wish it was under different circumstances, but the circumstances allow us to be still. And
Right,
we're here, man. No distractions, no shows, no flights. I'm here.
right.
So we are here right now. Platinum Badboy producer King Amadeus himself.
Hey.
I have no sound effects, but
Fact.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
we're not as fancy without our board over here, but we try our best.
Hey, it's all good, man. It's about the content. I know we're gonna have a good time, man. The extras are cool, but it's about what we talk about. So I know we're gonna have a good one. So it's all good.
How you been though? How have you been managing during the quarantine?
I've been doing pretty good. With all that's going on, people unfortunately losing their lives, losing loved ones. I won't dare complain. You know what I mean? I'll find the positives in all, that we're facing today. So I've been doing pretty good. We're homeschooling, we're working from home. The homeschooling is driving me nuts. I'm gonna be 100.
Absolutely.
But we're making it do what it do. We're making it do what it do.
It's good.
How has it been like trying to control like the homeschooling aspect, while being a producer? And I'm assuming obviously you're not going out in the streets and like doing outside work, are you?
No, just the essentials. We go outside to do food shopping, or if there's things that we need from the store, we'll do that. Kind of, we've been kind of doing like little drives here and there. Just get in the car and just drive to a nice, pretty far distance just to get out, just to, you know, uh, get some views and some scenic views, just in changing the environment of being in the home every day, all day. So we've been doing a little bit of that, but nah, just definitely, social distancing and keeping myself and ourselves, safe during this challenging time that we're in.
And I see you doing like interviews or like IG lives where you're talking with other people in the industry. How has that been working out for you? Because I've seen like a lot of dope talks you've been doing.
Well, thank you for that. It's been pretty cool. When this thing first hit, this pandemic, um, I just felt like God put it on my heart to just pay homage to people that have inspired me during my journey, and some I know, some I don't know. But the goats and the legends, that we don't. I don't feel like we give them enough credit. I don't feel like we pay enough homage, at least while they're here, alive and well, to see the love and to feel the love. I think we do ourselves and them an injustice of celebrating others when they're no longer here. And I'm totally against that. Because if they're not here, if they're dead, they can't see and feel the love and the admiration that people have for them. So that was the vision behind it, and it's been great. I'm no interviewer. It's not like a talk show. It's just me going on with some of my favorite people. Like if you've tuned in, you've seen. I've had like Redman and Dougie Fresh and Melly Mel and Slim from 112,
Right.
Eric Sermon. So just OGs like legends, Salt from Salt and Pepper. Just to give you an idea of some of the guests that have been on, and again, people that really played a role in what I do musically. So it's just a real organic conversation. I'm not writing down any questions. I'm not, because that's not what I do. It's just what would I say to my real heroes? You know what I'm saying? Or the questions that I would actually have in real life to those that are actually my heroes. So that's been pretty much what I've been doing. It's been going really great. I think I probably have about maybe 50 of them that I've done. And it's been really dope. It's been really dope, and I appreciate you showing love and acknowledging that.
How does it personally feel for you? Not as like the producer, but as um the fan getting to finally sit down, well, be in a conversation with your idols and ask the questions you were trying to ask since you were like a child.
So dope. Like I'll be really fanning out, you know, like I'll be apologizing because I'll be fanning out so bad, but they love it, they appreciate it, and that's one thing that I'll never change. Regardless of how much success I'm able to obtain, no matter what I do musically, I will always have that love and aspiration, you know, for people that have paved the way, people that have been through the trenches and through the storms and all of that, for us to be able to come behind them and do what we love and live our dreams musically. So it was really dope, man. Like really dope to just be on the line with them and just to play, you know, some of my favorite records of theirs and just to see their reactions and, you know, just to know that at least from me, you know, that they're really and truly appreciated.
What was your favorite one so far that you've done?
Ooh.
If I could name a few, because there was so many I'm trying to keep up with, like, I think it was really dope. Mario Winans and Stevie J was really dope. Me, you know, always growing up wanting to be a bad boy hitman producer, so to actually be a hitman and those be my brothers that I've looked up to throughout the years, to be on the same team is dope. So them two. Big Daddy Kane was a really a big look. Dougie Fresh was a really a big look. Slim from 112 was one of my favorites, being like 112, like, you know, I know we just saw the versus battle over the weekend. So Slim from 112, like 112 was one of my favorite groups of all time, still is to this day. So for him to be on was dope. Kima from Total, you know, and Total being another, you know, favorite one of my groups. Redman, like I had to stick to listen to Redman, you know what I mean? So that was pretty epic, man. But those are some of a few of my favorites. I enjoyed each and every single one. Another one. Erica Campbell from one half of the group Mary.
Yeah.
Definitely, you know, when people ask me who do you want to work with, and like that's the group I always name. And they kind of got me listening to gospel music, kind of coming as a kid, you know, as a youngin'. I was just straight hip hop, and I would refuse to listen to gospel music, but the music that they made, Dietrich Haddon as well. I had him on. Donald Lawrence, I had him on a gospel legend. So it's been. I'm starting to name everybody now.
Right.
It's been really dope, man. It's been really dope. And as I sit here and talk to you guys about it and reminisce of those incredible moments, man, I definitely, you know, appreciate them and will forever appreciate those moments that I share with them.
So I gotta ask, because you said Big Daddy Kane, and I've been on this crusade for quite a while since Prince died. Did he happen to ever mention to you the original Bat Dance song that him and Prince did? Because I really want to hear it.
Nah, he didn't mention that. That's dope that you know what I'm saying? So shoot, y'all need to interview him so you can get that information out, man. You know what I mean?
We gotta try to get him.
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I had read an article right after Prince died, and I was heading home, and there was a remix of the Bat Dance song that Big Daddy Kane and Prince did, but because it's Prince, so it was outside of the box to the point where Warner Brothers could not put it out, so it's been in a secret vault.
Wow. Yeah, listen, you got one up on me, man.
I'd love to hear that.
Yeah, that's probably crazy.
I just can't find it. There's no hacker in the world that can find this.
Wow. He probably has it. Right. He probably has it.
That's a fact.
I mean, I'm a huge fan of Prince. That was one of the first things I listened to growing up. You know, and that was like Snapple fact. I was in dance for like 1 year before I broke my leg.
Wow.
Yeah, I break a lot of bones. It's a long story. And we did You Got the Look. So after that, I got hooked on Prince's music.
Okay.
You know.
Got you. Wow.
But you mentioned about, you know, a little bit that the people you admire in your beginning. Tell us a little bit about that, because you have quite an interesting story.
Right. Well, for me, growing up, I grew up in the Bronx, West 69th. Washington Avenue, which they called the 9. So I grew up in the Bronx. My parents, you know, sent me to Catholic school. So I actually attended Catholic school all my life, from first all the way to 12th grade. The first school I attended was St. Augustine School of the Arts, which is where I learned how to play drums, and that was the first time of me experiencing a musical instrument. So I started with the drums, And I've before the drums, I've always loved music. My parents played all type of different genres in the house. Saturdays we would clean up the house, so we call that cleanup day.
Right.
And each Saturday, one parent I have controlled the sounds. The next Saturday, the other parent controlled the sounds. So I heard everything from the Bee Gees to uh, Africa Bambaataa, Curtis Blow, Melly Mel to um, Stevie Wonder. You know what I'm saying? Chic. I heard everything.
Right.
I heard everything.
I like me. That sound like my crib.
Yeah, man. So for me, again, I fell in love with hip hop, and me being a drummer, definitely played a hand in me wanting to become a record producer, having everything to do with the rhythm and the beats and stuff like that. So that's kind of why I went down that path. But I got started really at a real young age. I had a passion and love for production and musicianship. And at about 15, 16 years old, I decided that I wanted to be a producer. And I just, really devoted like a lot of time, a lot of energy into working on my craft. I lost a lot of friends, lost a lot of girlfriends, because all I wanted to do, was make beats. And I didn't want to go to movies. I don't want to go bowling. I don't want to go to Disney World. I don't want to do none of that. I just wanted to make beats. And all of that, obviously paid off. And that was damn near 19 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So 19 years later, fast forward, producer for over 100 major artists. It's definitely been a dope ride and a dope journey.
I actually watched an interview where you spoke about how you gave up, everything for your career, and that's something you kind of hinted out when you did the interview with A Wise Way, that they should kind of, not abandon themselves, but make sure they focus more on themselves than, the normal 9 to 5 daily type of things. Is that what you recommend to all artists, or do you feel like maybe some people can manage the 9 to 5 while still trying to do this?
Right. I mean, it's difficult. I think, the more time you have to devote, on, building your craft, I mean, the better, you think, and that goes for anything in life. That's not just, music. Like you think about LeBron, you think about Kobe Bryant, rest in peace, Mike Tyson, all of the greats that you could name, Robinson Cano, you know what I'm saying? Baseball, basketball, football, Odell Beckham, all of that has come about by practicing and applying yourself to, and working towards bettering yourself, in your craft, so that goes with anything, man. You got to remain focused. It takes a lot of isolation. For me, it took a lot of isolation. You can't be dope at what you do by doing everything else besides, being a producer. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying not to go get a 9 to 5. I'm not saying not to work, but me being a musician was a blessing because I was able to play at my church. And that brought in, a certain amount of finances for me, not the most money, but, enough for me to sustain and allow myself to handle my responsibilities, which wasn't a lot at that time, and for me to be able to work on my craft. So that's what I did. Everybody's journey, everybody's career, and what they're after is different. So what may work for me may not necessarily work for someone else, in regards to their success. But that's what I did, and it was a lot. I was really, focused. I was tunnel vision, and again, I lost a lot in order to be where I'm at today, in order to develop as a dope producer and as a dope musician. So again, a lot of sacrifice goes into play when you want to be successful and you want to be considered as one of the best in your field.
So if you were to put like a time frame, like let's say somebody is saying, yeah, I want to be a super producer, or I want to be a musician, or whatever the case is, how much practice do you feel you should put in order to get to a level that they want? Like, should it be 3 hours a day? Should it be 5 hours a day? Should it be equal to the amount of time you put into your job? Like, I've heard so many different things. So it's like, for you, what do you think is the successful way to go ahead and do that?
I feel like it depends on the person. There's no, straight line towards success. Like there's no, okay, you do this and you win, or you do this and it is guaranteed that you'll make it. I think everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different journey. For me, it was something that I did all day until I felt like I didn't have anything musically left inside of me for that day.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and as I think back, I wouldn't say it was the smartest thing to do, because what happens creatively without you even thinking about it is what you create starts sounding the same, because of the fact that you're sitting there in one setting in one space, and you're working and working and you're working, not knowing that, you know, maybe this beat have similarities to the last beat you just made, because you just finished the last beat. You know what I'm saying? And didn't allow yourself space and separation, you know, to be able to have a new thought process or a new fresh idea. So again, it depends, man. You know, we just finished, of course, watching The Last Dance with Michael Jordan,
Right.
and you've seen his hustle, you've seen how hard he worked, and not just his hustle, but you've seen even his team members, you know, his team, the people that was on it, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, and everybody devoted their time and energy towards their craft. And I felt like, you know, we might have looked at Michael Jordan as overkill because he was like on a million.
Oh, yeah.
You know, but it shows you that, again, everybody's journey is different, because Dennis Rodman didn't put that same amount of time and energy, right? But he still was a very valuable asset, and then was still fired. Like, you will find Rodman in the club.
Right.
Jordan's in the gym, Rodman's in the club, you know, so
They still put up 20 blocks.
bro,
You know what I'm saying?
certain people just have it. Certain people just have the gift where it may not necessarily take them as long as it might take someone else, but to have that same level of success, you know. So again, every journey is different, man. You have a lot of new producers today, you know, that's on the softwares and different things. I had all hardware coming up, so it's different,
Right.
you know. So it's different, you know. The fact that they can, my baby, the fact that, you know, they're typing and can put things together and tell the computer what to do, versus
Exactly.
me having to actually do it and frame it and draw it, move it, like, with, you know, it's different things, man. So I think the level of creativity is at a higher point today. I feel, you know, due to technology, you're able to do so much more, you know. So it's different, man. It's different, and I love that question.
Did you have did you have that support from your family while you were going through all this?
I wouldn't say no, I wouldn't say yes. I think what was challenging for me personally was the fact that my parents were both very spiritual, and they frowned upon hip hop due to the profanity that was used and the language that was used and the subjects that was used, and which is why I said earlier that I had to, you know, sneak to listen to hip hop. So of course they find that I want to pursue hip hop, you know, in production, what they kind of didn't really understand what it was. You know, the level of support, you know, wasn't really there. And I would say I didn't really get the support, at least from my parents, until they were able to see, like, kind of the fruits of my labor. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you got that from producing, or that brought in that, you know, from you selling the beat. So I kind of, and I, you know, I don't feel any kind of way back then. I didn't like it, but as you grow older and you become mature, you learn why people do things, you know. And so instead of gaining understanding or trying to understand stuff in life, some people just shut it down based off of the fact that they don't understand or they don't know what it is, you know. So I don't fault them in any way, because a lot of what they've done for me has put me in position of where I'm at today. Like them sending me to Catholic school. Who would have knew that I would have been able to learn a musical instrument by going to Catholic school? They didn't know that. I didn't know that. So if they didn't do that, I wouldn't have ever picked up the drumsticks. I would have never, you know, learned how to play drums. And who would have knew if I would be a producer today? So I don't fault them in any way. I don't feel any negative way about it. I just felt like they didn't understand. So I didn't really need support, honestly. Like, I loved it so much, and I was so passionate about it. And I didn't care that people left me behind. I didn't care that girlfriends broke up with me. I didn't care that, you know, no one was around. It was me and my music. It was me and my keyboards. It was me and my drum machine. And I felt that was all that I needed, you know, to get ahead, because I knew what it was that I wanted to become, and I knew what it took to get there. So I didn't mind not really having a bunch of people in my corner and people rooting me on. I rooted myself on. Not saying that I didn't. I'm just saying it wasn't a factor for me coming up to have everybody's support.
How do you stay so calm?
I mean, it depends. I'm calm now, but
Every time I see you, you've been ridiculously calm.
I mean, you've kind of seen me. You see me at the powers industry events, which can normally be a little hectic. Um, so I think the best way to be is, like you're saying, is calm. If you're in a room filled with people that want to talk to you, want to see you, want to take pictures, it can become very overwhelming. But I appreciate it all because it's the people, it's the fans that allow me to be great in regards to the support system that they give me, for me to be able to provide for myself and my loved ones creating music. So, the calmer, the better. You know what I mean? And that's just me, when I'm out. But it's different sides to Amadeus. There's a very silly side to Amadeus. There's a very aggressive, side to Amadeus. So it just depends on, how I am at that moment or the day or the moment that you catch me at. So you just happen, to see me or catch me at moments where I'm just chilled, and relaxed, and just enjoying the moment, So, but trust me, many sides of Amadeus.
I mean, I'm not trying to kiss up, but you're so I see you calm, but I also see you very humbling. Like I've never seen you be cocky about yourself. I've never seen you be, aggressive towards anyone.
Right.
Even on social media, you're very mellow. You're very, I want to say spiritual, kind of.
Absolutely.
So you're spiritual, you're mellow, you're very humble about yourself, and then you draw people to want to talk to you.
Right.
Let's take away all the fame, the notoriety. The way you speak in yourself makes people want to talk to you. So it's just where did all of that just come from? Experience?
I think a little bit of everything. I'm like I said, I'm from 169 from Washington Avenue, where my mom, I had to beg to go outside to play, based off of the environment, that I was surrounded in. There was a reason why she sent me to Catholic school. I didn't get it. I wanted to go to public school. I wanted to look just like the other kids. I wanted to dress like the other kids, but, they thought different, and they wanted to put me in an environment that was conducive to my growth. And, as a man, as I look back, I have a huge amount of appreciation for it. But back then I was just like, what are y'all doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, let me go out. So I feel like all of that has played a part in who I've become, what I've become, all that it took to get to where I'm at today. And, and I understand, as you mentioned, I'm spiritual. I'm far from perfect, but definitely spiritual. And I know that God blessed me with these gifts and talents. Of course, I worked on it to make it what it is, because it's not like God will just bless you with a gift and a talent and you can just be the best of anything. You still have to apply yourself. You still have to work at it to better yourself. And I applied myself, and I just know where I come from, and it's humble beginnings, humble middle, just humble, man. And it doesn't take anything away from, anyone to be humble. I'm no different from anybody else. I'm not better than anybody else. We all have unique gifts and talents, each and every single one of us. There's things that you can do that I can't. There's things that you can do that I can't, and vice versa. So it's about knowing that all this love people show, all of the appreciation people show can come to a halt based off of me not having the right spirit, mentality, and attitude. So I know just I can get it, I can lose it all as well. And I have. From whether it's finances, whether it's overcoming personal situations and challenges, nothing and no one are excused from life. Life happens to us each and every single day, and you don't know what it'll bring. So as long as I have breath in my body, I will always remain humble. I will always remain cool. Because again, I'm you, me, and I'm you, regardless of your race, regardless of where you're from. We all have our struggles and hardships, and I understand that.
So me and Mikey saw something last week, and since Mikey wasn't able to come to the show last week, I'm gonna ask this question here. Did you see the clip with Joe Biden and Charlemagne?
I did it. I saw little pieces, and I guess people posting it, but I didn't really sit down and watch it. No.
My man bugged out. He bugged out.
Now, Charlemagne or Biden, you talking about?
No, Biden.
Biden.
Bugged out. Biden. I knew what he was getting at when he said what he said, but like that was like the totally wrong context. Like it was just like, bro, like out of all the phrases you could have said, why you said that? You know, so it was just weird.
So what did he? Did you recall what he said?
So basically, he said, if you can't tell the difference between voting for me and voting for Trump, you're not black. And like, I get what he's trying to say, but like at the same time, it's like, bruh, like, no, it's not like you don't do that. Like, you don't say that. But there's
So
people
what part of that offended you? Because now, as you said,
it wasn't so much offensive to me.
Okay.
But like I understand how in this day and age the cancel culture and everything, like I'm just like, oh bro, we're gonna get backlash from this. Like I'm not one to get easily offended because I always look at things from different sides and different angles. So I always like listen and understand like the context before the question was stated, because you know how media does, they'll chop things up and make it into ways they can see it. So I knew where he was coming from. It was just so weird that you just said it like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think people at the end of the day just saw the clip of him saying that and it was just like, oh my God. But it was like 10 minutes before, you know, what were they talking about to lead into that? But just even so much into that, just how he said it with such conviction and everything, I was like, oh yeah, they're not gonna like this. People are not gonna like this. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, you know, I personally didn't get offended, you know, by you just sharing the statement, you know, with me, like, and it might just be a thing of him just being a buck, like, you know, forget me politically correct, forget me sounding how you want me to sound. I'm gonna say it how I feel to say it. You know, think about it.
Right.
Anything you do, everything you do in life, man, somebody will sit back and pick it apart. You know, you can, if think about it, you walk down the street and you unfortunately see a homeless person, right? You give them something to eat or you give them something to drink. Let's say you film it, right?
Mm-hmm.
People are gonna be like, well, wait, why are you filming it? Why are you? Now, here's the thing: we film everything else. You know what I'm saying? We film, you know, like for instance, unfortunately, you know, with George Floyd, they sat there and filmed, you know, that black king being killed. Like, film everything else, and it's like, as much negativity that's out in the world for us to visually see, you know, there's nothing wrong. Now, there's ways to do it where you're not showing that person, man or woman, their face or, you know, identifying them and who they are as a homeless person. But I think the deed being recorded is just good because we need to see more positive things happening. We need to see people being a blessing to others, just like we can see people doing harm to others, and people share that all over Twitter and all over the social media. So it's the same thing. But like I said, people will take you being a blessing to somebody and pick it apart. Why you gave him a hamburger? Why you didn't give him a vegan burger? Why you gave him soda? Why you didn't give him, you know, a vitamin water? Why you gave him a piece of candy instead of a fruit? Why didn't you give him $1? Why didn't you give him $5? So like,
it's always something.
It's always something.
I think what it is, I think the biggest thing is that now people are looking for somebody that's not like President Trump, as opposed to somebody who is more like him, because we all know Trump, he a New Yorker, so he keep it a buck at all times. You know what I'm saying? Trump say what he thinking, don't care about what nobody thinks about it. He gonna say it. And a lot of people aren't used to it. I try to tell people, I was like, you got to take that at face value when he speaks. He speaks like a New Yorker. He says what he got to say and he keeps it moving. He don't care what you got to say and nothing like that. A lot of people don't understand that. Now with Biden, I think that people are looking for somebody what they would claim to be more presidential. So when he comes out and he's keeping it a buck, it's like, oh my God. But the first thing I said when I heard that was like, wait a second. Yeah, I got a problem with him saying that, but then don't have an issue with Trump saying, yo, look at my African American over there.
Right.
Like, so it's just, like I said, it's all about context. And I just feel like people are not really offended. They just want to be offended for likes.
Right. I agree. I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I do vote, you know, and I try to vote according to whoever I feel it's best, you know, to do the job, you know, and as we can see, Trump made it in office. It's like part of me says, I can't see that, I didn't see that happen. And then the other part of me, you know, says, okay, I could see that happen. And I could see why that happened, man. When you think about the world that we live in today, the amount of racism that still exists, And it's funny because I see it now more than ever. And I'm talking about, I'm 39 years old right now, and I see it, whether it's me traveling, on a flight, and, obviously being in first class and them not expecting me to be in first class because of the color of my skin or what I look like, you know what I'm saying? What I'm a basketball player, what I'm a, and I've seen people try to look down on me or make me feel a certain kind of way because I'm like, bro, it's a seat.
Right.
She, all right, cool. It's in front of the plane. All right, cool. The seat's a little bigger. All right, cool. But, and it's like you making a big deal out of maybe possibly something that you paid for. I didn't even pay for this.
Right.
Like, so it's like, but people have, different mentalities, man, where, I'm big on saying hi. I'm big on greeting people, like whether I know you or not. If I'm leaving and I leave out my building and I walk in the elevator, I say good morning. I say good afternoon. I say good evening. Peace, king. Peace, queen. Like,
right.
It's just me and who I am. And I've done that and people not say a word. You know what I'm saying? And or because of the skin color. And it's like you're judging me based off of who you think I am or what you think I am. And I'm 9 times out of 10 far from, however whatever box you're trying to put me in. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just know we need someone else in office. And if it's Biden, it's Biden. You know what I'm saying? I like Bernie a lot.
Thank you.
I like Bernie a lot. But
I don't have no problem with Bernie neither.
Biden was in office, not as president, but as the VP. And Obama has done, amazing things, and I appreciated him being in office. And at the end of the day, Biden was his right hand. You know what I'm saying? And so the fact that Obama approves him and has given him the green light and has chosen him while he was in office to be his right hand.
Right.
And, it's like, okay, I trust Obama. You know what I mean? Like, I trust him. I trust his ways. I trust how he moves. So, but it can't be Trump, though. I'll tell you that right now.
Definitely not.
Y'all gonna hate on Uncle Donald like that?
Yeah.
Listen, man, just because Uncle Donald gave us a check, it don't mean nothing.
Nah, I ain't even worried about that check. For real.
Right.
I ain't even worried about that. Go ahead, Katie.
You brought up a point before about the policeman that killed the pedestrian under the car.
Yeah.
We keep seeing all these acts, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, and we see all these efforts by the media, but what can we, us people here, do to try to prevent it? Like, we have all this power, but you don't see a lot of it trying to stop the racism that's happening. You're kind of just promoting it.
Right.
What can we do?
I mean, I think it's a question we've been asking ourselves for years, and it's probably very difficult to really pinpoint on what it is. I think, and it's just my personal opinion. I think when police officers are being charged and given time, for these hideous crimes that they're doing, and I know it won't affect everybody, but I'm sure people will start changing their tunes. And this is my opinion. You give an officer life, or you give officer a death penalty, and I'm not saying I believe in that. I'm just putting it out there. But I think that'll change the view of it. Like the fact that you kill somebody as an officer, get fired, right? And that's it. It's like, okay, I got fired. I'm not saying that officer's like whatever, but it's like, okay, cool. It is what it is. This is the cards I've been dealt, and that be it. That's the problem. Now you convict those officers, and those officers, doing 50, 80 years in prison. I know, not no special joint, like prison, like real prison. So as soon as they go in, they're gonna get it handed to them each and every single day until they probably get killed or kill themselves, unless they're gonna do 80 years or 50 years of getting their asses whipped every day. You know what I'm saying? So I think until that starts happening, we're going to keep continuing to see the same thing. Yep, we can get out and protest, we can get out and march, we can post, and it has made changes. I feel like the people sharing their disgust and posts have caused mayors and governors and police commissioners to take a deeper look, or to make better efforts in regards to dealing with the situations. So I don't know. I'm not a politician. I don't have the answers when it comes to that. I'll give a big shout out to, like, people like my brother, my son, that's on the front line, and I feel like, this obviously his God-given gift, his calling that God gave him to pursue this. Same thing with, the Queen Tamika Mallory that does this, the one and only, the great Reverend Al Sharpton and his, National Action Network, people like them, is who I go to and look to for answers and guidance, during these difficult times. And I must say they've been doing an amazing job. Not always will you win in the court system, but when you have the people behind you and you stand up, and come together, it at least shakes them up a little bit in order to try to change or to try to make change. You know what I mean?
Mikey, you got anything to say about that?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, you know me, I'm kind of funny with it because
We know.
I'm 36. I'm gonna be 37. I got a 6-year-old, and just seeing it happen over and over again, and it's hard. It's hard to deal. But I think people fear what they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And people fear us as black men and black women because they don't understand the struggles that we've gone through. Why these things are ingrained in our DNA, that we have to fight back and we have to do certain things. I actually had a conversation with somebody today. It wasn't so much of a conversation, but it was a white gentleman. He was saying something about, black people go around and they steal and they rob people and put masks on and do all this and do all that. I said, do you think that takes away from the fact that you guys can put on a hooded sheet or put on a uniform and come around and lynch us and kill us and do all of that and go about your day? You know what I'm saying? Like it's very difficult for you to try to sit here and compare one to the other. Like we've been in a prison since before slavery. You know what I'm saying? Like before people have to start really understanding that analogy. You know what I'm saying? Like that analogy, people don't really understand and really sympathize with the fact that those things that our ancestors went through is in our DNA. Like we're always gonna have that. And if people don't start really just taking the time to get to know each other and understand each other and really teach the history of what happened and what's going on, we're always going to have this. And there's nothing that we could really do to combat it except for really like getting out there on the front lines.
Right. That's real. That's real.
It's really hard. Then like the other half of me is like, yo, I just want to love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that'll help. But I know at the end of the day, everybody's not going to receive that.
Right.
So it's difficult. It's difficult.
Right. And I'll challenge you, King, with this, man, because, and I talk about it all the time. And it's difficult, but it's worth it in the long run for you, right? And because I like what you said, with loving everybody and loving people. And I feel like that's part of the answer too, where it's like, you can't put hate with hate.
Right. Exactly.
You just can't, man. And it's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest pill to swallow, but that's definitely been one of my philosophies in regards to when someone hates me or someone brings me negative energy and a negative vibe and a negative spirit. I combat that with, like you said, I combat that with love. I combat that with positive energy. I can't become you. If I become you as a negative, not you guys, but just in general, if I become that negative person, you know what I'm saying? Or that person filled with hate, I become you.
Right.
I don't want to become you. I don't want to be a person filled with hate. I don't want to be a person filled with negativity and negative energy and a negative spirit. So that is part of the answer as well, King, where give them love, man. It's like, because how much, and you have people that are that mean and that bad and hate that bad, that no matter how much love you give, they can find some way or some reason to hate you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And those people, all we can do is pray for those type of people, but it's like as a human being, how can you be on one side and I'm hating and I'm hating and I'm hating, and you're doing nothing but showing me love? How can I continue with the hate? At some point, it's like when you're growing up as a kid and you see the rainbow, you know what I'm saying? And you're sad and on the other side is the rainbow, like with the candy and the glitter and all the fun, happy stuff. Like, how do you walk on to the other side and still have the Sour Patch Kid face? Like, how do you have the mug on the side with the rainbow,
the rainbows,
and the unicorns and the
glitter and all that,
the glitter and the cake and the candy? Like, how do you have to, if you're going to cross over to that side, enjoy the rainbow, enjoy the candy, enjoy the happiness, enjoy the love. So, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, man. But we, like you said, King, we just have to continue, not to be better than, but just to have the right mentality, just to have the right spirit, because as we always say, two wrongs never will equal a right. You know what I'm saying? And we just gotta kill them with kindness, and not to use the word literally because it's too much of the killing, but just kill them with kindness, like kill them with love, kill them with a hug.
Right. It's true.
So we got a question we ask all our guests. We haven't asked this in a few weeks, but do you follow wrestling? Did you ever follow wrestling?
Yeah, growing up, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, what's them dudes? The Bushwhackers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Jake the Snake. Yeah.
So what is your top 5? And seeing as you already did a score for ESPN First Take, would you do a theme song for any of the top 5 artists?
I would love to, man. Music is music. I don't care who won it. I'll create for whoever. But top 5 wrestlers. I definitely Ultimate Warriors, hands down, my guy. Jake the Snake, I thought was incredible because he had the snake. I would never touch a snake, but he had one, so I thought that was cool. Bushwhackers, because they had that whole
right
there. They was dope. So that's 3. I really love Undertaker. I like the Undertaker. I like his vibe. I love the music that comes on when he comes into the arena, the dome, and then the lights go out and all that. I love the whole theatrics with that. And a friend of mine, her husband is Apollo.
Apollo Crews?
Apollo, he's on WE right now. Apollo
Crews won the U.S. Championship.
Yeah. So I gotta go with him, man. He's a black king. Been doing this thing in wrestling, and he's just got crowned the champ, man. So shout out to Apollo. So there you go. What did I say? The Ultimate Warrior, Jake the Snake, the Bushwhackers, the Undertaker, and Apollo.
Wow.
So we always get the Undertaker. The Undertaker is like
Undertaker's fire, bro.
And then we've always gotten people who love Attitude Era stars.
Old.
Yeah, you always get those. We haven't gotten anybody who's really liked anybody recent.
Okay.
But that's dope. That was the best time in wrestling, to be honest with you. I think that's everybody, young, old, you know what I'm saying? They all love those wrestlers, right? You can't blame them. That was a great time in wrestling. So
big time.
That was a dope 5.
Thank you, man.
And you can still watch it whenever you want.
Right.
That's a fact.
But we're not going to promote them because they're not cutting me a check. Well, listen, they tried to copyright me 2 weeks ago.
They sure did.
They really hit me with the copyright because we were trying to show Becky Lynch's announcement, and that went such a fail.
Wow. Yeah, they got me too. I was on the IG Live with Capone from Capone and Noriega.
Yeah.
Playing my favorite records of his, and then the whole joint just shut down. And it said it copyrights and the music, and if you want to continue, you can't play the music for this amount of time. So I ended up jumping back on, and we chopped it up, but I couldn't. But they deaded the whole music, the music side of me playing his music. So
right.
Hey man, somebody, the bills got to be paid, man. And it's if they ain't getting any money, they're gonna shut it down. It's all about business at the end of the day.
At the end of the day, absolutely.
Have you ever been copyrighted on your own lives for the own music you produced?
And I'm so glad you asked that. recently, I want to say they hit me for like 3 of the Younger May records that I produced, and I'm like, dude, like I produced this song. So it's funny you mentioned it, man. Man, now that you reminded me, I'll probably send them like a little note or something like, yo, y'all tag me on songs that I produced. Like, what do we do? Okay, clearly
Wait,
said
how did that work if the person that produces it gets flagged?
Well, I mean, realistically speaking, the God honest truth is that I don't own it. The label owns it.
Right.
You know what I'm
So
saying?
they're gonna flag it for anybody.
You get special
Yeah.
permissions?
They said it was something about like if it's on BMI or ASCAP or something like that, it's getting flagged.
Yeah, I mean that's everything. Look, everybody that releases any music, would have to go through, ASCAP or BMI, and
Right.
for them to, get paid and it probably be compensated for their music being spinned and played all around the world. So, yeah, it sucks, man. But it's a job that somebody got to do.
Right.
It's always a way around everything. And I think one of the DJs had posted, and they were saying that Instagram's deal with the music publishers were they're approved to play 90 seconds of a song. So if you go over 90 seconds of a song, that raises the issue with them, because at that point, I think Instagram are not paying for once it goes past the 90 seconds, excuse me. So then it causes an issue for Instagram with those publishers with the deal they have, which makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah, makes sense. And again, like I said, you can play 90 seconds. So it's just, you got to figure it out. DJs, you be like Funk Master Flex.
Right.
Funk Master Flex don't play the full record or nothing. You just be like, right.
Play the intro, and that's it.
Keep it pushing, man. You got what, 90 seconds? What is that, a minute and a half? Minute 30?
You can get a verse and a hook on that. 90 seconds.
Facts. Skip the intro, go right to it.
Mm-hmm.
Mikey, do you have any last questions before I give mine?
Out of all the artists that you work with, who's been your favorite? Like as far as like just being in the studio with them and just vibing and all of that.
I wouldn't say favorite, just because of me producing for
everybody, yeah.
Over 100 artists. I won't want anybody to feel any way, because they all have been incredible experiences, a blessing to work with each and every single one of them. I would name one Trey Songz, being that I've been blessed to be a part of his journey for the last 13 years.
Right.
Touring with him. When I joined forces with him, I think he had just released his first album, and he's had many albums ever since then. So to be a part of that process, touring the world with him, from everywhere from United States, of course, Europe, Australia, Japan, Africa, it's been really dope. And I spent the most time with him as an artist. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Really, seeing him grow as a man. Watching him become a father. And just like I said, in life and in his artistry, it's been pretty dope. So I'd say him. Shout out to Chris Brown. Working alongside Chris has been a really dope experience. I would say we probably have about 30 released songs out right now, including the songs that are his on his albums, on his mixtapes. Songs that he's put on his SoundCloud, to the songs that he's written. For Justin Bieber that I produced, and J-Lo and Dave East, Perfect for Dave East, and Same Girl for J-Lo, and Christmas Eve for Justin Bieber. So I'm very appreciative to him and the doors that he's opened, for me as a creative person and as a producer. So I'm definitely appreciative to him. Shout out to Younger May too, another dope artist that I've been blessed to work with. Produced 8 songs on her story in the making, including Petty Wap, that was just certified gold.
Yeah.
To go. So I'm excited about that. Appreciative. It's always dope when an artist gives you an opportunity, to share your gifts and your talent and your music with the world. Without any politics being involved. Without any, who you work for, who you produce for. It was strictly about the music. For Chris and Younger May and others as well. But just thinking about them giving me so many opportunities. To have 8 songs on Younger May album is crazy. To have 9 songs on the Chris Brown Heartbreak on the Full Moon album is Like that's pretty dope. And again, they allowed the music to speak, because you could have been like easily been like, I'm not giving Amadeus 9 songs on this album, but it wasn't about me. It wasn't about my name. It wasn't about my resume. It was about the music, and the music resonated with them both, and they allowed it to be shared with the world. So definitely those three. And again, I enjoy working with everybody that I've been blessed, to work with. Lil Mo was fire. Mike Jones, you know what I'm saying? 50, Fab, me having a bunch of records with Fab. Shout out to Fab too. So I can go on, but it's been dope. Shout out to J-Lo too. Bronx.
So I'm very curious what it's like to be in the studio with you. Can we tag along one day?
You know what, man? With technology being the way it is, it's rare to catch me in the studio, like for real. And I'll share this with you guys. I'm talking about like with artists, not specifying, but with artists. A lot of the technology has changed that where you're just kind of sending the music to the artist, and they're kind of doing their own thing in their own space, in their own studios. Like I know Young M.A has a studio set up in her crib. Chris Brown has a studio set up in his crib. Trey Songz has a studio set up in his crib. So it's really rare for most producers to get in with the actual artist and to create, which I would love to go back to how it was when I started, when we were in one room working on the masterpiece together.
Right.
But you got to be able to roll with the punches. You got to be able to adjust, and obviously it's not broke. So I'm not going to try to fix it, and if that's what they're most comfortable with, then it is what it is. But yeah, I'm down with that, when we can get out of this quarantine and out of this pandemic, that we're in. I'm not mad at kind of coming by and being the fly on the wall in the lab with the king.
I'm with it. Mikey, you with it?
I'm always with it. You know me. I love to learn how to do different things. Me being an artist or whatever, that would be dope for me.
Word.
So last question, because I know Mikey's laptop's gonna die. And oh my gosh, she's so adorable. Without music, who would you be?
Real question, and a subject I've never even pondered. Just being real, like I haven't even put or thought about it, or like, so if this ain't work out, I would have did this.
Right.
I don't see any other way. I don't see me doing anything else. Like I don't see me living any other life besides the one that I live in, because I just truly believe that each person in life should be doing what they're most passionate about each and every single day. I don't believe that anyone should be out working a 9 to 5 doing something that they don't love, or going to school based off of dreams and aspirations that your parents have for you or others have. Like I believe when you wake up, you should wake up excited to do what you love to do each and every single day. And I'm blessed that I didn't allow fear to overtake me. I'm blessed I didn't allow the opinions and the thoughts of others to overshadow me and my dreams. And I'm grateful to be where I'm at today. So I can't even give you I didn't have a B, C, D, E, F, or G. It was A, music, B, music, C, music, D, E, F, G, music, and, it was like 50, instead of the get rich, die trying, it was make music or die trying, you know what I'm saying? And that's what the mentality was. That's what the mentality still is to this day. And I'm grateful.
So, my love, where can they find you?
I'm on Instagram, Amadeus, PBM, AMADEUS, PBM standing for Platinum Boy Music. Also, Platinum Boy Music on IG, on Twitter, producer Amadeus. I'm on Facebook, but it's like maxed out all the time. I don't even know how to use it. So just whatever. So yeah, so IG and Twitter is what I'm on. And I'm pretty good. I check all my DMs. I try to check all my DMs. I try to respond to those messages that make sense, and people not being a-holes and knuckleheads, So if it's real, if it's fans showing love, I try to, respond back and things of that nature. But, just introduce yourself. Don't hit me with listen to this. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to listen to this, So just be real. Greet me properly. I'm a human being at the end of the day. I'm not a human tape recorder. I'm not a record player. I'm not a CD player. I'm not a computer. It's just that you just press play to listen to music. I'm a person at the end of the day. So, show love, show respect and appreciation, and, you'll get that in return. So that's how you're able to reach me.
Man, thank you so much for sitting with us
Thank
today.
you, bro.
This was awesome.
Yeah, great job, guys. I had a fun time. I know we've been, trying to make this happen for a while. And again, I appreciate your consistency. You being persistent. You always showing love and always showing love. Every time I see you is love, and I appreciate that. And Mike, I appreciate meeting you today, King. And
You too.
congrats on the show that you guys have together. Keep pushing, and keep asking. That's something that I think people be afraid to do. Just ask. The worst you can get is no, or not now, or not to get a response at all. And even not a not now and a no response at all doesn't mean no. It could just not be the right timing. And as you can see, we're here today. So, this was the right timing for this to happen. So I just encourage y'all both just to continue to chase people down and ask and try to get those interviews, man. Just like I did. A lot of those people that I had on my platform, I didn't know. I didn't know Dougie Fresh. I didn't know who else I didn't know? I didn't know Dougie. I didn't know Big Daddy Kane. I didn't know Salt. We knew of each other, but I didn't know her personally. There's a lot of people that I didn't know, and it was just me asking. I didn't know Kimo from Total, so put it out there, man, and be fearless and remain consistent and persistent. And if it's God wills for your life and for your journey, it'll happen.
It'll happen.